So in material master, we are going to create our header material. What is our header material? It is 2 liters orange juice bottle. So we can create this in mm01. If we want to change an existing material, that would be in mm02. If we want to just display a material, it would be in mm03. So let's go to T code mm01. So for which industry we are working? It is beverages. So let's select the beverages industry, and then material type would be finished goods. In this case, I have a Z material type defined, so I'll select this finished product, and then we can copy an existing material which I already have in place to save our time. This is a reference data. And then we hit enter. In the screen, we will select the views which are required. We would need basic data. We would need all the MRPs. We need work scheduling. And then let's go to org levels. We're going to work in plan 1100. And then let's continue. So here we can see that this is a 2 liter orange juice bottle, and then the unit of measure is bottles. We are going to manufacture this in bottles. We can just press enter to see if there are any missing fields which are mandatory to be filled. So it is taking me to basic data 2 tab. Nothing is missing there, and we are in MRP1. Here we have to define MRP type. So this has prompted me to enter the MRP type because that's mandatory. That is how it is set up in the material type. If you remember, we had selected finished goods as our material type. So it is mandatory for us to select a MRP type. Here I can select PD. If you want details of all these fields, we have this covered in another training, and I'll share those details in the resource section. We need to select MRP controller. And then lot size. Now it's taking me to MRP2. Here we need the scheduled margin key. And in-house production number of days, I would put it as 10 days. Now we are in MRP3 tab. We need to select availability check. I would set it to no check, KP. You wouldn't be doing this in real life project scenarios. There would be an MM consultant who would take care of creation of header materials and all the materials for that matter. So we can move on, and we can see that this is batch managed in work scheduling view. Enter, and we are going to save this. So now we have a header material created. We can just make a note of this in our worksheet, and I'll be sharing this worksheet as well. If you're making notes, well and good. Otherwise, you can find this worksheet in the resources section. Now that we are done with our header material, our next step is to do bill of material. We will cover that in the next video. Alright, welcome back. So far we have created a finished product, a header material. Now we are going to create a bill of material. So I already have, what is bill of material by the way? These are the ingredients. and its quantities required to manufacture a particular finished product. In this case, we are manufacturing a 2-liter orange juice bottle. So we would need water, sugar syrup, orange concentrate, and an empty 2-liter bottle and a bottle cap. So we would be using these materials, which are bill of materials, to create a BOM group. And we can do this in CS01 to create it. And if we want to change an existing BOM, the T code is CS02, and to display it, it is CS03. So let's go to CS01. So we want to create a BOM for this header material, which we had created in our previous video, 28387. We need to select the plant, which is 1100. We need to select BOM usage. In our case, BOM usage is production, so we would select 1. And we can have several alternative BOMs. In this case, this is the very first version of it, so we can just say 1. Let's press enter. Now we are on the screen wherein we can list down all the materials. By the way, BOM is also called as component material. So here we're going to list down all the bill of materials which we need. We already have this in place. We're going to reuse them in interest of time. So first we need water. So we would copy paste this in the component section, and this is item category. Let's select item category. It is a stock item, so I would select L. And then how much quantity do we need? We would need, let's work that out, right? So let's go back to our scenario document, and in this, so to manufacture 2 liters of orange juice bottle, we would need 1.5 liters of water and 0.25 liters of orange juice concentrate and 0.25 liters of sugar syrup. So let's keep that in mind and create a BOM. So water would be 1.5 liters. Unit of measure is liters. I just press enter to see if everything is fine or if I'm missing anything. So that's all good. Here we can see that we have included pure water as one of the components. Let's move on to the second one. Our second one would be sugar syrup, and we need 0.25 liters of sugar syrup. Item category would be L. We need 0.25 liters. Press enter. Yep, that's all good. And the third one would be orange concentrate. Copy this and paste it in the component, and we again need 0.250 liters. And then we also need a bottle. So to manufacture 2 liters of orange juice, we need an empty 2 liters bottle. We just need one bottle. Enter. It's taking a while. Yeah, that is one bottle. And then finally we need one cap. That's a bottle cap. Okay. So now we have 1.5 liters of pure water, 0.25 liters of sugar syrup, 0.25 liters of orange concentrate, one empty bottle and a bottle cap. Let's save this. So that's our BOM for this material, header material. We forgot to copy the BOM group, so we can go to either change mode or display mode. So we are in change mode. We can click on this cap icon to see the header details. There we can see the BOM group name, which is 4084. Let's copy that, 4084, and then the alternate BOM is 1. This should be alternate BOM. Is 1. So now we are done with creating a BOM group. In the next video, we'll see how to create a resource. Alright, welcome back. So far we have created a header material and we created a BOM group. In this video, we are going to create a resource. So what is a resource? If we get back to our scenario, resource is nothing but a work center in discrete manufacturing terminology. So to perform these operations of mixing, filling and packing, we need certain work area which is called as a resource. For mixing, it would be in mixer. For filling, it would be in filler. For packing, it would be a packer. So let's create a mixer, filler and packer. So to create a resource, the T code would be CRC1. To change an existing resource, it would be CRC2. And to display a resource, it would be CRC3. So let's open CRC1. Our plant is 1100. Our resource is, let's say, mixer 2 because I already have mixer 1. And then we can copy it from an existing resource, which is mixer 1. We need to select the resource category. I would select it as processing unit and then press enter. So we need all the data selections. It would be basic data, text, classification, subsystem grouping, default values, capacity, scheduling and costing. And then I click on copy. So here we can see the resource category I selected. It is a processing unit and the person responsible. To see what are the missing fields which are mandatory to be filled, all I need to do is press enter. So there's nothing missing in this. So I can just go ahead and save it. So now my resource mixer 1 is already created for plant 1100. Let's make a note of it. Sorry, it is mixer 2. Let's make a note of it. It is mixer 2. And then now we will create a filling resource and we'll copy it from filler 1. So we will create a new resource, filler 2, and we are going to copy it from filler 1. Press enter. Okay, this has another category. It has a labor category. So let me get back. CRC1. Change this category to labor, which is 3. And then we will create filler 2. Copying it from filler 1. press enter, and we need all the data selections from the filler 1 resource. We will copy it and we can save it. So filler 2 is created for plant 1100. Let's make a note of it. Filler 2. Next we will create a packing resource. We already have packer 1, so we can copy that and create a packer 2. We will again go to CRC1. We will pick the resource which we need to create is packer 2, and then we are going to copy it from packer 1. Press enter. Again, yeah, the packer 1 belongs to another resource category 008, so I need to recreate it. So let's go to CRC1. Yeah, change the category to 8. The resource which we want to create is packer 2, and we are going to copy it from packer 1. And we need all the data from packer 1. We copied it. Let's just save it. So packer 2 is created as well. So now we have all the resource data created as well. Mixer 2, filler 2 and packer 2. In the next video, we're going to see how to create a recipe. Alright, welcome back. So far we have created a header material, bill of materials, resource of work center. Now we're going to create a recipe. So what is a recipe? Recipe is where we're going to list down all the operations and its phases. It is similar to a task list in discrete manufacturing industry. We can create a master recipe in C201. We can change an existing master recipe in C202 and then display it in C203. So let's go ahead and create a master recipe. Let's go to C201. We need to create this for our header material, which is 28387, and then it is for plant 1100. We also need to select a profile. We are working for process industry right now, so the standard profile would be PI01. Press enter. We need to select a status. Status can be either in creation or in released status. If we keep it in creation phase, we will not be able to use it in production. So let's make it as released, which is 4. And then we need to select usage. We are using it for production, so the usage is 1. And then now we go to operations tab. This is where we're going to list down all the operations. As we discussed in our scenario, our operations, our primary operations are mixing, filling and packing. And within each of these operations we have phases. Under mixing, we are going to check the component weight before we mix it. Under filling, we are going to fill it. Under packing, we are going to pack it. So let's create these operations and phases in our master recipe. So the first one would be our operation. So 10, we can just write the description as mixing. Under mixing, we have several phases. We are going to create other phases. So what is it that we are going to do? We're going to check the water purity first, and then we will check the component weight, and then we will mix all the components. So these three line items 20, 30, 40 belong to this parent 10 operation of mixing. How do we associate that? We can associate that by marking these as phases. 20, 30 and 40 are phases, and they are phases of which operation? Which superior operation? They are of mixing operation, which is 10. So we will just write that down here. So this is clear, right? So we have a mixing operation, which is a parent operation. Within that operation, we have three phases, wherein we are going to check the water purity, component weights, and then we mix all these components. Components are nothing but bill of materials, which we saw. So that's why we are marking these as phases. This is a phase indicator, and then they belong to operation 10. We also need to specify the destination. Let's see what destinations we have here. So we have several destinations. We're going to go ahead and select the PI sheet for group 1, which is 01 as a destination. We'll do that for all the phases. It is required to select a destination for the phase line items. So 01 again, and same with phase 40. And we need to give the resource where this is going to happen. If we go back to our scenario sheet, where is mixing happening? Mixing is happening in mixer resource, and we created a new resource for mixer, which is mixer 2. So that will be our resource. So let's go back to our master recipe and type mixer. Mixer 2 is what we created. Mixer 1 existed earlier, and we just press enter, so that gets copied over here. So we need to mention the standard values, the duration it takes. So let's say I can randomly give 50 minutes. We are not going to get into activity type. That's a part of finance and controlling. So let's press enter. So since we have three different phases, we're going to mention it. I'll make it as 50 minutes each. So when you're in a project, you're going to discuss this with business and come up with durations, the actual duration, so that you can account for it. So now we are done with our first operation, and this will be followed by filling. Here we can see that after mixing is done, we're going to fill it. So let's create an operation for filling. Let me write down the description as filling. Under filling, what are we going to do? We will fill orange juice into bottles. This line item 50 is for operation filling. Within that operation, we're going to fill orange juice into bottles. So this becomes my phase. And to which operation does it belong? It belongs to operation 50. So under superior operation column, we will write operation 50. And the destination remains the same, 01. And in which resource we are going to do this? If we go back to our sheet, filling happens in filler. And for filler, we have created a resource, which is filler 2. So let's add that resource, filler 2. And press enter. And filling, let's say, takes 5 minutes. We are not bothered about activity type at this stage. We will remove it and press enter. And then finally we would have packing. So packing is another operation. So that is operation 70. Under packing, we are going to just pack it. We will seal it and then pack it. So this becomes my phase. So we will mark this phase indicator. So we will mark this phase indicator, and then to which operation does this belong? It belongs to operation 70. So that's my superior operation. The destination remains the same, and then the resources packer 2. Packer 2, enter. So let's say packing takes 2 minutes. So now we are done with our master recipe. We can save it at this stage, but before that we need to establish a relationship between these phases. Let me explain that over here. So we have operation 10, and then we had, within that we had 20, 30 and 40, and then we had operation 50. Within that we had operation phase 60, and then we had operation 70, within which we have operation phase 80. Is that right? That's clear, right? Operation 10 is operation followed by 3 phases, which is 20, 30 and 40. 50 is again operation, that is followed by 60 phase. 70 is operation again, and that is followed by phase 80. Now we need to relate these operations, just the phases, not operations, which is 20, 30, 40, 60 and 80. In what sequence are they going to get executed? That is what is our relationship. There are 4 types of relationships. It is finished start, which is very well known. Start start, start finished, and finish finished. What this means is, when this phase is finished, we're going to start this. So we are establishing a sequence, we are linking them, we are establishing a relationship between them. So after 20, our succeeding operation, our successor would be 30. After 30, it is 40. After 40, it is 60. After 60, it is 80. So let's select phase 20 and establish this relationship. So we can select phase 20. So we click on this chain link icon to establish a relationship. So click on this relationships icon, and then you can see that it is FS. We are selecting FS relationship. As I said, we can either select FF, SF, SS based on our need or requirement. So for now we'll go with just FS, and here we are only selecting the successors. So we're going to select successor for phase 20. The successor for phase 20 would be what? It is 30. So we will mention 30. Press enter. That is check component weight. Green arrow back. Now we will deselect this and select phase 30. For this, the successor would be 40. Again, click on the relationships icon. The successor would be 40. So for phase 30, successor would be 40. We press enter. That is to mix all components. Green arrow back. Now for phase 40, successor would be, is it 50 or 60? We can only establish relationship to the phases, so it is 60. As we saw in our worksheet as well, after 40 comes 60. So let's get back. Go to relationships icon. For 40, the successor would be 60. Press enter. Now again, green arrow back. We're done with 40, and for 60, the successor would be 80. This would be 80, enter. packet. And we don't have anything for 80. However, since we have already established this relationship, when we go here, we can see this as a predecessor. So we go here, if I select predecessor, we can see that 60 is a predecessor for the last one. Now we are done with the recipe. We can just save this. This is our recipe group. Let's copy this. The one ending with 180. And the group counter is going to be 1. So now we are done with creating master recipe. In the next video, we are going to create a production version. Alright, welcome back. So far, we have created a finished goods material, a bill of material, we created resources, we created a recipe. Now in this video, we are going to create a production version. What is a production version? It is a unique version of bill of material and master recipe. So we can have alternative bill of materials. When we have that, we can have a unique production version which can be used for releasing a process order. So we can create a production version in C223. Let's head on to C223. Plant is 1100. We are going to create it for this header material ending with 387. Let's go check. Yes, it is 387. And then the task list type is master recipe, and our master recipe number is ending with 180, which is what we created in the earlier video. Yeah, it is 180. I'm going to share this worksheet with you. You can find a link of a worksheet in the resources section. Then press enter. It's taking a while. So here we have plant, which is 1100. Our material is the header material. We can just copy it from here. And then we have the production version. We can just name it as PV01. And the text for it, which is which can be anything. I'm naming it as orange juice PV. And we need to select its validity. We need to mention a lot size. We can start from 1 till series of 9s. And there could be other mandatory fields which we can know by pressing enter, or we can just go to this detailed view, which is more readable. And here we need to provide, so as I said, it is a combination of master recipe, which is task list, and bill of material. So under task list, our task list type is master recipe, and the group number which we created, which is ending with 180, and the group counter is 1. So we copy this here, and the group counter is 1. And then we just have a single alternate BOM, so it is 1, and the BOM usage is 1 as well, because it is for production. Now that we have filled these details, we can check its consistency. This is going to check if the task list exists and the bill of material exists even before it is saved. So we click on this check button. Okay, so it says that the master recipe is not valid for that particular date. So we can change the date, because we just created it today. It should be valid from today. So it says that the task list does not exist for today, but from 15th onwards it exists. Let's change that to 15th. And you can see that this is still in red because there was an error. Now we're going to check it again. Now it says that the task list exists, BOM exists. So we're good to go. We can see that both are in green now. We can click on blue X. This is going to close the detail screen and adopt the changes. And you can see that this is in green as well. There are no errors found, so we can go ahead and save this production version. So that got saved. So now we are done with all the master data setup. We have set up the finished product in material master, bill of materials, resource, recipe, and finally the production version. In the next video, we are going to create a process order and release it for production.